We take responsibility of our karma. We don't say, please understand, this is what not Hinduism is. We don't say that some devil is sitting there and he makes you receive money for match fixing or whatever. A devil is sitting there, another force equivalent to God. God is of course, he is interested in doing to you the faithful, but devil doesn't allow you at all. He puts spokes in the wheel of God. That means poor God also needs some help from all of us. And therefore you are only giving a lip service to God by saying He is Almighty. You don't even understand what is Almighty. You put Him somewhere there in heaven and call Him Almighty. But then He is different from all of us according to the theology. And that means definitely your little might, my little might, if the mosquitoes might, all of them are minus in that Almighty. Therefore He may be mighty uncle, but definitely not Almighty, because He is minus the mosquitoes might, understand. I look upon the might of mosquito is much more than the might of a human being. The human beings throw nets to catch all these huge animals, set up traps, etc. When it comes to mosquitoes, he gets into a net. Therefore, who is mighty? And therefore, what I say, even these mosquitoes have got their own little strength. And minus all this, that poor God must be scratching all the time because a mosquito got him. That is why our Lord is Ananta Shayana, because He doesn't go to office. Anante Shayana. Anante in His own Shakti, in His own Sway Mahimni glory, in His own glory He is lying down there. It is the greatest form that we can invoke the Lord in. Lying there, Shayanaha Sarvam Bibart. This is the Upanishad Vakya. Lying down, he sustains everything. Kya baat hai? So he sustains everything. Shayanaha Sarvam Bibart. Lying down, he just Lakshmi is at his feet. That is the correct thing, because to run the show he needs Lakshmi. He can't borrow from banks, I tell you. Shayanaha Sarvam Bibarti. Snake always stands for Shakti because it's a symbol of Shakti. It has no legs. Uraga. Urasi gacchati. Uraga. No legs, but it is one slithering power. Ananta. The first spring mattress you ever conceived. Understand? Everything goes from India. This is the first spring mattress. Then only He is God. I tell you, if He goes to office, He cannot be. You will have common cold, you will have problems, you will have all here. You will be on leave, casual leave and medical leave. Why I say this one God sitting there is all silly, different from everything, means you cannot even think of Him as Almighty. He has to include my power too. That is what Ananta Shayana Narayana is. And therefore, if this is so, then I am responsible for my karma, not a devil. Devil is not a second equal force. Then you have to have in your mind, there are certain thoughts called devilish thoughts, certain thoughts called divine thoughts. And therefore you will have a permanent problem, a clash between these divine thoughts and devilish thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. They are not even there to deal with, I tell you, for. Before you deal with, the thought is gone. How are you going to deal with it? It is kshanika vrittihi. Only one moment it is there, nigraha kim karishyati. And therefore it is entirely a different thing altogether, how to understand. Our masters understood, because they understood the truth, they understood the mind also. If you understand the basic truth, everything you will understand properly. If you miss the basic truth, everywhere you will commit mistakes. One all mistake, anywhere you see mind dealing with, it is a mistake. And the world you deal with, world is looked upon as a world for consumption. The theologies look upon the world as a world to be consumed and enjoyed. Really. The world is meant for consumption. The animals do not have souls. Trees, etc. have no souls. That means they are meant for eating. And if they are useless, you put them to sleep. It's a nice way of saying kill them. We cannot do that. Hindus cannot do that. Just because useless, therefore you finish them off. Your great-grandfather, your grandfather. Because he is useless, no more useful, he is not a contributor to the society, therefore finish him off. But your horse you can do. Your cow you can do. Why? Because they have no souls. Understand? That's why there are no cases against you also. It's all their own laws. Well, therefore, what I say, we look upon the world entirely differently. We don't look at the world as some kind of some God created the world just for fun. And he put you here and make you suffer. Then afterwards he watches the game. He must be a sadist. So we take responsibility for our karma. The Lord, of course, is a karma paladata. If I stick my finger into fire, the fire will burn my finger. If I ask the fire, hey, why did you burn my finger? The fire will say, did you burn my finger? Fire will say, yes. Why did you burn my finger? I'm sorry, I didn't. Hey, you burned my finger? Yes, I burnt your finger. Why? Because I didn't burn your finger. You touched me, I gave. This is what God is. You asked for it, you got it. You take responsibility of your karma. And you can change your life here. Karma makes you more responsible, not fatalistic. It is a good shock absorber. Otherwise you cannot establish even God. You have to think of a devil afterwards. Then afterwards you have to think of a devil, then you have to deal with the devil afterwards. It is something like paying a mafia fellow to collect the rent from the other gunda. Then afterwards he collects rent from you every month, I tell you. As a protection fee. It's a wrong thing to do. So you create a devil and afterwards you have to deal with the devil. And that is a dichotomy, permanent division according to Carl Jung. This is the greatest disaster for Christian society, Western society. And why? Because they created this division of God and devil. Therefore there is a permanent line division and therefore they can be sane. It is very difficult to maintain sanity because certain thoughts are devilish and you are having devilish thoughts, therefore you are a devil, you do not be a devil, therefore a conflict. It is always a problem. Therefore he dismisses this concept and in fact he praises the Hindu religion and he says, my God, Rama can get angry and still he can be worshipped. That is the greatest religion because it validates anger. It does not condemn anger. Rama can be sad and still we worship him. Why? Because it is nothing wrong to be sad. But you can be free from sadness. That's entirely a different thing. There is nothing wrong to be sad. There is nothing wrong to be angry. It is wrong to act upon it. This is therefore that Jung goes ecstatic talking about these forms, etc. He goes ecstatic in his books. You all should read that. And therefore the law of karma makes me responsible. They say India is economically poor because they follow karma. This is my karma, therefore I am a clerk. Is it because of karma he is a clerk? There is no other way. You allow him, let